and watching this footage from RT. And, I'm going to tell you the truth. I like the idea of the veterans going out to protect the protesters. And, I like the whole idea behind all this in spirit. But to tell you the truth, I don't think you're making any impact on the elite whatsoever. They think of people as insects. That's exactly how they think, okay? Veterans are going there, but you got to remember, the elite created the war in the first place, the Iraq War. That was their policy. They knew there was no weapons of mass destruction. The 9/11 deal, I'm not going to comment on that, but it's pretty obvious what that was about. So, people fought that war for what? The elite. I don't really think you're making an impact on it. I'm going to tell you, a lot of this economic crisis came about from several things. The Banking Act of 1933, where they had the separate functions between the brokerage arm and the depositor's money. That was dismantled. The tax on all the transactions, the Turbin tax, that would have been a smart idea probably too. Some of the banks hate it, but that would screw up the trading, where you're trading like 60,000 transactions in a second or whatever. It just wouldn't be feasible for them to do that with a tax like that. But another thing was the deindustrialization of the United States. I knew that was a bunch of bullshit 20 years ago. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like how RT is the only voice of reason out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, that smells like a scam in itself. I don't know, I'm an old-time reader of Major Anatoly Golitsyn, and I keep reading back a couple of things he said, and I know he's been right all along, but he says real long range, and this stuff goes back to the 80s and stuff, 90s and 70s. He said that the whole thing with the dissolution of the communist bloc was basically reorganization. It was planned. It never fell apart in a true sense. It's a modified type of hybrid capitalism, communism, and the Western elite also. They all have on the top, Eastern nations and Western nations, top people all have the goal of world government. But I'm sure they don't exactly agree with each other. Common sense tells you that. But something smells about RT. I'm going to tell you right now, because you got all the British accents out there. You never see too many Russian newscasters, and you don't see any criticism of Putin, who's not really a great guy. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's a guy that he took over the oil companies. I know that he took it over from a bad guy himself, but that doesn't make him a good guy. They don't have too much criticism of Russia. You're not going to see that on RT. I think it's good because it gives you justifiable criticism, but be careful, because I think the whole thing's a setup all the way around. But I don't think these protesters are doing much damage to Citibank, for instance. And if you say, for instance, you pick on somebody like, I don't know, Citibank, right? I don't know, just throwing a name out there. I'm not even saying anything specific. We say you ordered a bunch of, you had 1 million people order credit card applications, and you just had to mail them out, and you talk to the people on the phone, and you didn't follow through with them. You freaking drive them nuts. That would cost them more money than anything. People don't know how to scam. I would not keep that much money in banks. I don't do that shit. I play the game, I invest, I pull it out, I take cash, mostly physical metals and stuff like that. Don't use the system. But you can cost these people a lot more money, and the thing is, this is too disorganized. The real people that run things, they're thinkers. They have think tanks. They look at this, and they think, how can we use this confusion? How can we twist this around to our own purpose? And what you got to do is you got to confuse them. And the way to hit them is in with the money. You're probably not going to get any politicians to change laws back, the way they were, where they separated the banking functions. But you can cost them money. Believe me. Call them up. You know who the guys are. I mean, if you got 100 names out there, give them calls. Call them up. Ask them questions. Tell them you just don't like what they're doing. Just tell them that. You know, if they have like, a couple million people calling them, and you got 100 names. I mean, it's gonna affect them. Right now, this is all going against the police and stuff like that. Not to say that everybody's all perfect. You know, I know the police ain't perfect in every instance, but I don't think this is the way to do it. I'm telling you, man. I know people ain't gonna like what I'm saying, but I don't think you're making a dent in the freaking elite for real. Because the elite, like even the veterans, the elite made that war. In effect, you played their game. I don't want to discredit anything, but you know what I mean. You got to go a lot further than that. So, I mean, for a simple few phone calls to the right people, maybe ask questions to the CME or something like that, Commodities Metals Exchange, what's going on with this silver, with the margin, position limits on the margins, you seem like you people are delaying all the time. It's taking forever and ever and ever, If they get enough freaking calls from like 1 million people, that'll upset them. This probably isn't upsetting them. This probably is not upsetting them, man. I'm telling you right now, they think of people as insects. That's exactly how they think, man. So, I mean, I'm not telling you to do anything bad, but you can play the scam game right back with them, man. It's not that hard.